The morning sun barely touches the misty peaks of the Great Smoky Mountains. Dew covers every leaf in the ancient forest. A Cherokee medicine person moves quietly through the trees, stopping at certain plants. Her weathered hands touch the leaves gently, like greeting old friends. This isn't just a morning walk. This is life-saving knowledge in action. Here's something that will shock you. Cherokee plant medicine stopped deadly infections with an 80% success rate. This happened before antibiotics even existed. While European settlers watched their loved ones die from simple wounds, Cherokee healers saved lives using 7 specific plants growing right under everyone's feet. We're talking about the 1750s through the 1850s here. The Cherokee Nation, also called the Selagi people, lived across what we now call Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. This region holds more plant species than all of Europe combined. The Cherokee didn't just live here. They mastered every single plant's healing power through thousands of years of careful testing. Watch as skilled hands dig carefully around a plant's roots. The Cherokee medicine woman knows exactly how deep to go, boo. She takes only what she needs, leaving the rest to grow back. Every movement shows respect. Every cut is precise. She whispers thanks to the plant before taking it. This isn't superstition. This is sustainable harvesting that kept these plants alive for future generations. The basket filling with plants isn't random. Each herb serves a specific purpose. That red root there, it stops infections that killed soldiers on battlefields. The yellow-barked plant, it calms stomach problems that left people weak and dying. The feathery-leafed one, it stops bleeding faster than modern pressure bandages. Here's what makes this even more incredible. Today's doctors are studying these exact same plants. Pharmaceutical companies have filed 47 patents based on Cherokee medicinal plants. Navy SEAL medics carry Cherokee herbal preparations in their field kits. Wilderness medicine courses teach these techniques to EMTs and rescue workers. Dr. James Duke, one of America's top ethnobotanists, spent decades studying Cherokee plant medicine. He said these 7 plants represent the most sophisticated plant pharmacy in pre-colonial America. That's not just praise, that's scientific respect for knowledge that took 11,000 years to develop. Let's be clear about what you're going to learn here. By the end of this video, you'll know how to identify 7 specific Cherokee medicinal plants. You'll understand how to prepare them safely. You'll learn the exact methods Cherokee healers used to treat wounds, infections, respiratory problems, and digestive issues. And you'll discover why modern science proves these old methods work just as well as many modern drugs. The sun climbs higher now. Our Cherokee medicine woman carries her basket back toward the village. Smoke rises from morning fires. Children play near the river. Elders sit together, sharing stories. This peaceful scene exists because of knowledge passed down through countless generations. Knowledge that kept people alive through harsh winters, dangerous injuries, and deadly diseases. Think about this for a second. We live in an age of advanced medicine, right? We have hospitals, antibiotics, surgery, emergency rooms. Yet wilderness medicine experts choose Cherokee plant knowledge when modern supplies run out. Military survival schools teach these techniques because they work when nothing else is available. Hikers and campers study these plants because they could save your life on a remote trail. Inside a traditional Cherokee dwelling, bundles of herbs hang from the ceiling. Clay pots line the walls, each containing different plant preparations. A small fire glows in the centre. The medicine woman begins grinding roots with a smooth stone. The smell fills the air. Earthy, slightly bitter. Unmistakably medicinal. This scene played out for thousands of years before hospitals existed. Here's a specific example that shows this isn't just folk medicine. In 2019, Johns Hopkins University tested one of these Cherokee antimicrobial plants against drug-resistant bacteria. The plant won. It killed bacteria that survived our strongest antibiotics. The research team was stunned. Cherokee healers knew this plant's power 300 years ago. The 7 plants we're covering aren't rare tropical species. They grow throughout eastern North America. Some might be in your backyard right now. But here's the critical part. Identification must be perfect. One plant stops bleeding and saves lives. Its lookalike cousin is poisonous. Cherokee medicine people trained for 10 to 15 years to master this knowledge. We're going to give you the essential information, but we'll also show you how to practice safely. Watch firelight dance across the medicine woman's face as she works. Her hands move with absolute confidence. She's made this preparation hundreds of times. The mixture she's creating will treat a child's respiratory infection. Without this medicine, the child might not survive winter. With it, the child will be playing again in 3 days. This happened regularly, documented by early observers who couldn't believe what they were seeing. Modern applications go way beyond wilderness survival. Naturopathic doctors use Cherokee combination therapies in their clinics. Herbalists study Cherokee preparation methods because they're more effective than European techniques. Even mainstream medical researchers are looking at these plants as alternatives to antibiotics. Why? Because antibiotic resistance is becoming a crisis, and Cherokee medicine offers proven solutions. Let's talk about what's at stake here. Traditional knowledge is disappearing. Every year, elders pass away, taking irreplaceable information with them. But there's a flip side. More people than ever want to learn these skills. Cherokee cultural centers teach plant medicine to new generations. Non-Cherokee people can learn too, but it requires respect, proper attribution, and supporting the communities who preserve this knowledge through incredible hardship. The basket of plants sitting in that Cherokee dwelling represents something profound. It's not just medicine. It's proof that careful observation, patient testing, and deep respect for nature create knowledge as valuable as any modern science. These plants saved lives when there were no alternatives. They save lives today when modern medicine isn't available, and they might save your life tomorrow if you know how to use them. Here's your promise for this video. You'll learn practical skills backed by both ancient wisdom and modern science. Every plant we cover has been tested in laboratories. Every preparation method has been validated by experts. Every application has real-world success stories. This isn't theory. This is knowledge that works. The morning mist lifts completely now. Full sunlight floods the forest floor. New plants become visible everywhere you look. Each one has a purpose. Each one holds potential. The Cherokee people learned to read this forest like we read books. They understood which plants heal, which ones hurt, and exactly how to tell the difference. But understanding these 7 plants requires more than just learning their names. We need to understand the people who discovered their powers. We need to see the world they lived in. We need to grasp the environmental challenges that pushed them to develop such sophisticated plant knowledge. The Cherokee didn't create this medicine system by accident. They built it through necessity, intelligence, and thousands of years of careful work. That's where we're going next, into the rich cultural background that made this medical mastery possible. Go back to 9000 BCE. Long before European ships touched American shores, the ancestors of the Cherokee people lived in the southern Appalachian Mountains. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving, building one of the most advanced cultures in North America. This wasn't luck. This was 11,000 years of accumulated knowledge, passed down parent to child, generation after generation. The Cherokee called themselves Salagi. They built permanent towns along river valleys throughout what we now call the southeastern United States. Their territory stretched across 8 modern states at its peak, but the heart of Cherokee civilization sat in the mountains, the same mountains that created the perfect conditions for incredible plant diversity. Here's something that will surprise you. The Cherokee territory contained over 3,500 different plant species. That's more medicinal plants than all of Europe combined. Why? The answer lies in geography and climate. The Appalachian Mountains create dozens of different microclimates. Walk from a river valley up to a mountain ridge, and you pass through completely different growing conditions. Temperature drops, rainfall changes, soil composition varies. Each zone grows different plants. Stand on a Cherokee mountain trail in autumn. Colourful leaves cover every surface. Oak, hickory, maple, chestnut and pine trees tower overhead. Below them grow smaller trees and shrubs. Below those, countless herbs carpet the scene's ground. A Cherokee person walking this trail saw not just pretty scenery, they saw a living pharmacy. That red-leafed plant treats fevers. Those berries help with digestion. That root bark stops infections. The Cherokee weren't wandering hunters constantly moving around. They were agricultural masters. They grew corn, beans, and squash together. The famous Three Sisters combination that provided complete nutrition. Their permanent towns featured council houses, family dwellings, and communal spaces. Population estimates suggest 25,000 to 30,000 Cherokee people lived in this region before European contact. But here's what makes Cherokee culture truly remarkable. They developed specialized knowledge keeper roles. Not everyone knew everything. Instead, people mastered specific skills. Some focused on agriculture, others became expert hunters. Some specialised in pottery or tool making, and certain individuals trained as didahanvwisgi, medicine people. Watch an elder Cherokee medicine person teaching a young apprentice. They walk through the forest together, stopping at specific plants. The elder explains which parts to use, when to harvest, how to prepare. The apprentice must memorise everything. No written notes exist yet. All this knowledge lives in memory, passed through hands-on teaching. The training takes 10 to 15 years. That's longer than modern medical school. The medicine people learned more than just plant identification. They studied when plants were most potent. Spring roots contain different compounds than fall roots. Summer leaves work differently than winter bark. Altitude matters too. The same plant growing at 1,000 feet has different strength than one growing at 5,000 feet. Cherokee healers knew all these variables by heart. Here's proof of how sophisticated this system became. By the 1700s, Cherokee medicine people had categorized over 800 medicinal plants by symptom and preparation method. They knew which plants worked together, which ones cancelled each other out, and which combinations created stronger effects than single plants alone. This happened centuries before European scientists developed modern taxonomy. Environmental pressures shaped this knowledge. Harsh winters killed people who couldn't treat frostbite, respiratory infections, and malnutrition. Hunting accidents caused injuries that became deadly without proper wound care. Childbirth complications threatened mothers and babies. Waterborne diseases struck communities near rivers. The Cherokee faced all these challenges without modern hospitals, antibiotics, or surgery. Plant medicine wasn't optional. It was survival. Travel back to a Cherokee town in 1750. Longhouses line the river. Fields of crops stretch across the valley. People work together, each doing their part. A woman pounds corn into meal. Men repair fishing weirs in the river. Children practice using small bows. Everything seems peaceful. But watch the medicine person's dwelling at the edge of town. Someone enters carrying a sick child. The parent's face shows fear. The medicine person examines the child carefully, then reaches for specific dried plants hanging from the ceiling. The Cherokee developed something else remarkable. They created their own writing system. In 1821, a Cherokee man named Sequoyah invented a syllabary, a system of written symbols representing Cherokee sounds. Within years, most Cherokee people could read and write in their own language. This let them record traditional knowledge more permanently. Medical information that once lived only in healers' memories could now be written down and preserved. But we need to talk about something painful here. Just as Cherokee culture reached new heights, disaster struck. In the 1830s, the United States government forced Cherokee people from their ancestral lands. This horrific event, called the Trail of Tears, killed approximately 4,000 Cherokee people during forced relocation to Oklahoma. Families were torn from the mountains where their plant medicine grew. Knowledge keepers were separated from the forest they knew by heart. Think about what this meant for medical knowledge. Imagine a Cherokee healer who spent 60 years learning every plant in their mountain territory. Suddenly they're forced 800 miles west to completely different terrain. Different plants grow there, different climate, different diseases even. Centuries of accumulated knowledge about specific plant locations became useless overnight. Many elders died during the journey. Their knowledge died with them. Yet here's what shows the strength of Cherokee culture. The knowledge survived anyway. Cherokee people in Oklahoma began learning the plants of their new territory. Cherokee people who escaped forced removal by hiding in the mountains became the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. They kept the old knowledge alive. Today, both communities preserve and practice traditional plant medicine. The Didanvwisgi tradition continues. Archaeological evidence shows just how long this medical tradition extends. Excavation sites in Cherokee territory reveal grinding stones with plant residue dating back thousands of years. Pottery fragments show traces of medicinal plant preparations. Storage pits contain preserved plant seeds. Stone tools designed for bark harvesting. Every artifact tells the same story. Cherokee people were serious about plant medicine for millennia. European observers documented Cherokee medical practices starting in the 1600s. Their accounts show confusion and amazement. One trader wrote about watching a Cherokee healer treat a severe infection that European doctors considered fatal. Within days, the patient recovered completely. The trader couldn't believe it. He assumed some kind of magic was involved. It wasn't magic. It was sophisticated knowledge of antimicrobial plants. By the late 1800s, An ethnographer named James Mooney spent years living with Cherokee people. He carefully documented their medical practices, plant names, and preparation methods. His work, published in the 1890s, preserved knowledge that might otherwise have been lost. Today, researchers use Mooney's records to verify traditional Cherokee plant uses and compare them with modern scientific findings. The environmental diversity of Cherokee territory created something like a natural laboratory. The same plant species growing in different conditions produced different results. Cherokee healers noticed these patterns. They experimented, tested, and refined their methods over countless generations. Modern scientists call this traditional ecological knowledge. The Cherokee simply called it paying attention and learning from experience. Here's a specific example of Cherokee medical sophistication. They knew that golden seal, a plant with bright yellow roots, worked as a powerful antimicrobial. But they also knew it was too strong for children in full doses, so they developed weaker preparations for young patients and pregnant women. They understood dosage variation centuries before pharmacology became a science. Stand in the Great Smoky Mountains today. The same forests still grow here, though changed by the modern logging and development. Many of the same plants Cherokee healers used still thrive in these mountains. Eastern Band Cherokee people still gather them, still prepare them, still pass the knowledge to new generations. This isn't history. This is living culture continuing right now. The Cherokee faced an impossible challenge, preserving their culture through attempted genocide and forced removal. They succeeded through determination, cleverness, and absolute commitment to keeping their knowledge alive. The plant medicine we're learning about exists because Cherokee people refuse to let it die. That fact demands our respect and gratitude. Understanding this background changes everything about the 7 plants we're about to explore. These aren't just herbs, they're the result of 11,000 years of careful observation by one of North America's most sophisticated cultures. Every preparation method was tested countless times. Every application was refined through generations of practice. Every bit of knowledge was earned through experience and preserved through dedication. Now it's time to learn exactly how Cherokee medicine people use these 7 plants to stop infections, heal wounds, and save lives. Let's look at the step-by-step techniques that made this medical mastery possible. The first rays of dawn light up a Cherokee medicine person's workspace. Clay pots sit in neat rows, dried plants hang from wooden beams, the air smells earthy and green. Today we're learning the 7 plants that form the core of Cherokee emergency medicine. Each one saved lives. Each one still works today. Let's start with the plant that stops bleeding faster than anything modern medicine had until the 1900s. Plant number 1, yarrow. Walk through a Cherokee meadow in summer. White flower clusters rise on tall stems everywhere you look. The leaves look feathery, almost like ferns. This is yarrow, called wound medicine by Cherokee healers. Its scientific name is Achillea millefolium. Even the scientific name tells a story. Achilles, the Greek warrior, supposedly used this plant to treat soldiers' wounds. Kneel down next to a yarrow plant. Look closely at those feathery leaves. They are divided into hundreds of tiny segments. That's your main identification feature. No other common plant has leaves quite like this. The flowers form flat-topped clusters of tiny white blooms. Sometimes you'll see pink varieties. Both work the same way. Here's why Cherokee medicine people valued yarrow so highly. It contains compounds called achillene that make blood clot fast, really fast. Modern research proves yarrow reduces bleeding time by up to 40%. Cherokee warriors carried dried yarrow leaves into battle. When someone got cut, they'd grab yarrow, chew it quickly to dampen it with saliva, and press it directly on the wound. Bleeding stopped within minutes. Watch a Cherokee healer prepare yarrow for storage. She harvests plants in full bloom. That's when the medicine is strongest. She cuts the stem about halfway up, leaving the roots to grow back. Back at her dwelling, she ties small bundles and hangs them upside down to dry. The whole process takes about 2 weeks. Once fully dry, she strips the leaves and flowers, crumbles them slightly, and stores them in a clay pot sealed with beeswax. For emergency bleeding, the preparation is simple. Take a handful of dried yarrow leaves and flowers, add just enough water to make them slightly damp, and pack the mixture directly on the wound. Apply pressure. The bleeding slows almost immediately. For internal bleeding, like severe nosebleeds, Cherokee healers made yarrow tea, 1 tablespoon of dried herb in 1 cup of boiling water, steeped for 10 minutes. but yarrow does more than stop bleeding. Cherokee women used yarrow tea to reduce fevers. The same compounds that help clotting also make you sweat, which cools the body down. During flu-like illnesses, yarrow tea helped patients recover faster. Modern studies confirm yarrow has anti-inflammatory properties too. Plant. Number 2. Bloodroot step into the forest in early spring. Before the trees fully leaf out, small white flowers appear on the forest floor. 8 delicate petals surround a yellow centre. The leaves, wrapped around the stem at first, look silvery green. This is bloodroot, Sanguinaria canadensis. Break the root and bright orange-red sap oozes out. That sap gives the plant its name. Here's what makes bloodroot powerful. The orange sap contains alkaloids, especially one called sanguinarine. Modern research shows sanguinarine kills bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Cherokee healers knew this centuries ago. They used bloodroot for respiratory infections, skin conditions, and as a powerful antimicrobial wash. Watch careful hands dig around a bloodroot plant. The tool is a sharpened stick, perfect for loosening soil without damaging roots. The root comes up looking pale on the outside. Break it open, and that shocking orange-red sap appears. The medicine person collects only the roots, leaving some plants untouched so the population stays healthy. Back in the dwelling, the healer washes the roots carefully. For respiratory infections like bronchitis or pneumonia, she makes a tea. But here's the critical part: bloodroot is strong. Too much causes vomiting. Cherokee preparation used tiny amounts. Just a small piece of root, about the size of a pea, crushed and steeped in hot water. Patients drank 1 cup daily, no more. For skin infections, the preparation changes. The healer grinds dried bloodroot into powder. She mixes it with bear fat to make a salve. This mixture, applied to infected wounds or rashes, fights bacteria while the fat helps the medicine penetrate skin. The orange colour stains skin temporarily. That's how you know it's working. Here's something that will surprise you. Today's pharmaceutical companies study bloodroot intensively. That sanguinarine compound is in some toothpastes and mouthwashes as an antimicrobial agent. Scientists are researching its potential against drug-resistant bacteria. Cherokee healers figured this out through patient observation and testing across generations. Plant. Number 3. Golden seal. Look at the shady forest floor in summer. A low plant with large, deeply lobed leaves grows in patches. The leaves look a bit like maple leaves but grow from a single stem. Small white flowers appear in spring, followed by red berries. This is golden seal, Hydrastis canadensis. Dig up the root and you'll see bright yellow inside. That yellow colour means strong medicine. Cherokee medicine people called golden seal one of their most valuable plants. The yellow roots contain berberine, a powerful compound that kills many types of bacteria, parasites and fungi. Modern science confirms berberine works against bacteria that resist antibiotics. Cherokee healers used golden seal for eye infections, digestive problems, as skin wounds and general infections. Watch an experienced healer harvest golden seal carefully. This plant grows slowly. Taking too much means waiting years for the population to recover. She digs only mature plants, at least 3 years old. She leaves younger plants and always leaves some mature ones to produce seeds. This sustainable approach kept golden seal available for future generations. Preparation depends on the problem being treated. For eye infections, the healer makes a weak tea. She boils water, lets it cool slightly, then adds a tiny amount of crushed golden seal root, about the size of a grain of rice per cup. After the tea cools completely, she uses it as an eye wash. The berberine fights infection without irritating the sensitive eye tissue. For digestive infections, dysentery, parasites or bacterial stomach problems, Cherokee healers made a stronger tea. 1 teaspoon of dried powdered golden seal root per cup of hot water. The taste is incredibly bitter. That bitterness comes from those medicinal compounds. Patients drank 1 cup 3 times daily until symptoms improved, usually within 3 to 5 days. For wound infections, the preparation combines golden seal powder with a liquid to form a paste. The healer applies this directly to infected cuts or sores. The yellow paste draws out infection, kills bacteria and speeds healing. Modern studies show golden seal increases white blood cell activity. It literally helps your immune system fight harder. Here's the sad part. Golden seal became so popular that people overharvested it. Today it's endangered in many states. Cherokee communities work hard to cultivate golden seal and protect wild populations. This plant's story shows why sustainable harvesting matters. If we take too much too fast, the medicine disappears for everyone. Plant number 4. Slippery elm stand in a river valley in early spring. Tall trees with rough bark tower overhead. These are elms. One species has inner bark that feels slimy when wet. That's slippery elm, Ulmus rubra. The Cherokee didn't just value this tree for wood. The inner bark provided powerful medicine for digestive problems and sore throats. Peel back the rough outer bark of a slippery elm tree. Underneath you'll find smooth inner bark that's pale tan or pinkish. This inner bark contains mucilage, a gel-like substance that forms when the bark gets wet. This mucilage coats and protects irritated tissues. Modern doctors understand now that this protective coating helps heal inflamed digestive tracts, sore throats, and even external wounds. Watch a Cherokee healer harvest slippery elm bark sustainably. She never takes bark all the way around the trunk. That would kill the tree. Instead, she removes strips from different sides, leaving plenty for the tree to heal and survive. She collects bark in spring when sap runs high and the bark peels easily. She takes only from mature trees, leaving young ones untouched. Back at her workspace, she scrapes the inner bark away from the outer bark. She dries these inner bark strips slowly, hanging them in a shaded, airy spot. Once completely dry, she grinds the bark into a fine powder using smooth stones. This powder stores well for years in sealed containers. For sore throats, the preparation is simple but effective. Mix 1 tablespoon of slippery elm powder with enough warm water to make a thick paste. Swallow this paste size, letting it coat your throat as it goes down. The mucilage covers inflamed throat tissue, reducing pain immediately. It also helps fight infection by preventing bacteria from attaching to throat surfaces. For digestive problems, ulcers, inflamed intestines, nausea or diarrhea, Cherokee healers made slippery elm gruel. They mixed the powder with warm water until it reached a consistency like thin oatmeal. Sometimes they added a little honey or the maple syrup for taste. Patients ate this gruel several times daily. The mucilage coated the entire digestive tract, reducing inflammation and protecting damaged tissues while they healed. For external wounds, especially burns, the healer made a thicker paste. She applied this directly to the injury. The coating protected the wound from infection while keeping it moist, exactly what modern wound care recommends. Cherokee people treated serious burns with slippery elm poultices, changing them twice daily until the skin healed. Here's modern validation. Today's herbalists and naturopathic doctors use slippery elm exactly as Cherokee healers did. It's one of the few traditional remedies that conventional medicine acknowledges as effective. You can buy slippery elm lozenges in pharmacies for sore throats. The principle hasn't changed in 300 years. Plant. Number 5. Black cohosh. Walk through a Cherokee forest in midsummer. In shady spots, tall plants with white flower spikes rise above other undergrowth. The flowers look like fuzzy white candles, reaching 4 to 6 feet high. This is black cohosh, Actea racemosa. Cherokee women valued this plant highly for menstrual problems, childbirth, and pain relief. Look at black cohosh's leaves carefully. Their compound leaves divided into many toothed leaflets. The whole plant looks substantial, almost shrub-like, but the medicine lives in the thick, knobby roots. Dig up a mature root and you'll see the dark, almost black colour that gives the plant its name. Cherokee medicine women, because women usually handled female health issues, harvested black cohosh roots in fall after the plant finished flowering. They dug carefully, taking only what they needed. The roots dry hard as wood, so preparation required serious grinding work with stone tools. For menstrual cramps and irregular periods, the healer made black cohosh tea. She crushed dried root into small pieces, about 1 teaspoon worth, and boiled them in water for 20 minutes. The tea tastes bitter and earthy. Women drank 1 cup twice daily, starting a few days before their period and continuing through it. The compounds in black cohosh help relax uterine muscles, reducing cramping significantly. During childbirth, Cherokee midwives used black cohosh differently. They gave labouring women small amounts of tea to help contractions become more regular and effective. This wasn't about forcing labour. It was about helping the body do what it was trying to do anyway. Modern research shows black cohosh contains compounds that affect hormone receptors. Cherokee midwives understood it worked through patient observation across countless births. Black cohosh helped with other pain too. Cherokee healers used it for joint pain, muscle aches and nerve pain. They prepared a stronger tea for these issues. More root, longer boiling time. Patients drank this pain relief tea as needed, but not for extended periods. Cherokee medicine recognized that strong plant medicine should be used carefully, not casually. Here's where modern science enters the picture. Pharmaceutical companies have studied black cohosh extensively. Research confirms it helps with menopausal symptoms, menstrual problems, and certain types of pain. Some women today take black cohosh supplements instead of hormone replacement therapy. Cherokee women discovered these benefits through centuries of careful use and knowledge sharing. Plant number 6. Yellowroot walk beside a Cherokee stream in any season. Growing along the water's edge, you'll find a low shrub with glossy green leaves. The leaves stay green even through winter. That's your first identification clue. This is yellowroot, Xanthorrhiza simplicissima. Break a root or stem and the inside blazes bright yellow. That colour signals powerful medicine. Cherokee healers valued yellowroot for digestive problems and mouth infections. The bright yellow colour comes from berberine, the same compound found in golden seal. This means yellowroot works similarly, killing bacteria and parasites while reducing inflammation. Some Cherokee communities used yellowroot even more than golden seal because yellowroot grows abundantly near streams, while golden seal is pickier about conditions. Watch careful hands dig yellowroot in early spring or late fall. The shrub spreads through underground runners, creating patches along stream banks. The harvester takes some runners but leaves plenty so the patch keeps growing. She washes the roots and stems thoroughly. Yellowroot grows in mud and needs good cleaning before use. For digestive infections, the preparation is straightforward. The healer chops fresh yellowroot into small pieces, about 2 tablespoons worth. She boils these in 2 cups of water for 15 minutes. The water turns deep yellow. After cooling and straining, this tea treats stomach infections, intestinal parasites, and general digestive upset. The taste is intensely bitter. Cherokee people sometimes mixed it with honey or sweet herbs to make it more tolerable. For mouth sores, gum infections, or sore throats, yellowroot served as a rinse or gargle. The healer made a weaker tea and instructed patients to swish it around their mouth, then spit it out. The berberine in yellowroot kills bacteria that cause tooth decay and gum disease. Cherokee people maintained remarkably good dental health considering they had no toothbrushes or toothpaste. Yellowroot mouth rinses get much of the credit. For skin infections and minor wounds, Cherokee healers made yellowroot wash. They used the same tea preparation but applied it externally, washing infected areas several times daily. The antimicrobial action cleaned wounds while the anti-inflammatory properties reduced swelling and redness. Here's validation from modern research. Scientists studying berberine-containing plants find they work against many antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Yellowroot shows particular promise against certain gut infections that don't respond to standard treatments. Cherokee healers used yellowroot for exactly these purposes for centuries before microscopes let scientists see bacteria. Plant number 7. Wild ginger. Look at the Cherokee forest floor in spring. Under the leaves, heart-shaped foliage grows in pairs. Between the leaves, hiding near this ground, strange brownish-purple flowers bloom. They look almost alien, 3 petals fused into a cup shape. This is wild ginger, Asarum canadense. Dig up the roots and they smell spicy, like true ginger but different. Cherokee people used wild ginger for colds, digestive problems, and respiratory issues. The roots are the medicine here. They are thin, spreading horizontally under the soil, creating mats of connected plants. A Cherokee healer harvests just a few roots from a large patch, leaving most of the plants intact. The roots have a distinctive spicy smell and taste that makes them easy to identify once you've experienced it. For colds and respiratory congestion, Cherokee healers made wild ginger tea. They chopped fresh or dried root finely, about 1 teaspoon, and steeped it in hot water for 10 minutes. The tea warms you from the inside, making you sweat slightly. That sweating helps break fevers. The compounds in wild ginger also help loosen mucus in the lungs and sinuses, making coughs more productive. For upset stomachs, especially nausea, wild ginger worked remarkably well. The healer prepared a weaker tea and patients sipped it slowly. The spicy compounds settle the stomach and reduce nausea. Modern research shows wild ginger contains chemicals similar to those in true ginger. Both help with digestive upset through similar mechanisms. Cherokee people sometimes used wild ginger as a flavouring too, adding small amounts to foods. This wasn't just for taste. The digestive benefits meant meals with wild ginger were easier on the stomach. People with chronic digestive weakness benefited from this regular small-dose approach. But here's an important safety note. Wild ginger contains aristolochic acid, a compound that can damage kidneys with long-term heavy use. Cherokee traditional use involved small amounts occasionally, not large doses daily. Modern herbalists debate whether wild ginger should be used at all because of this concern. This shows why traditional use patterns matter. Cherokee healers used plants in specific ways that minimized risks while maximizing benefits. Watch the sun set over the Cherokee dwelling where all 7 plants hang drying. Each one represents thousands of years of accumulated knowledge. Each one still works today, validated by modern science. Bloodroot fighting bacteria, golden seal boosting immunity, slippery elm soothing inflammation, black cohosh easing pain, yellowroot killing parasites, yarrow stopping bleeding, wild ginger settling stomachs. But knowing these 7 plants individually is just the beginning. The real mastery came in how Cherokee medicine people combined them, adapted preparations for different situations, and developed advanced techniques for complex conditions. The sophistication of Cherokee botanical medicine goes far deeper than single plant remedies. Cherokee healers understood synergy, how plants work better together than alone. They recognized that different patients need different approaches. They adapted their methods for seasons, altitudes, and individual constitution. These advanced applications separated true healers from beginners. That's where we're going next, into the expert-level techniques that show Cherokee botanical medicine at its most sophisticated. The Cherokee medicine person sits with several clay pots arranged before her. Each contains a different dried plant. She's not preparing a single plant remedy today, she's creating a combination formula, something more powerful than any single herb alone. This is where Cherokee plant medicine becomes truly sophisticated. This is expert-level knowledge that took decades to master. Here's what makes combination medicine so powerful. Plants contain dozens of different compounds. When you combine the right plants, their compounds work together, creating effects stronger than simple addition. Scientists call this synergy. Cherokee healers discovered it through careful observation and testing across generations. Watch as skilled hands measure precise amounts from 3 different pots. Yarrow for stopping bleeding and fighting infection. Golden seal for its powerful antimicrobial action. Slippery elm for soothing inflammation. She's creating a wound treatment formula for serious injuries, deep cuts that won't heal, wounds showing signs of infection, injuries that might turn deadly without intervention. The measurements matter. Too much golden seal creates nausea. Too little won't fight infection effectively. The healer learned these proportions during her long apprenticeship, making the formula hundreds of times until the ratios became second nature. She mixes 2 parts yarrow, 1 part golden seal, 3 parts slippery elm. This combination stops bleeding, kills bacteria, and creates a protective coating all at once. For respiratory infections, pneumonia, severe bronchitis, persistent coughs, Cherokee healers develop different combinations. Bloodroot for its powerful antimicrobial effects. Wild ginger to help break up mucus. Black cohosh to reduce inflammation and ease breathing. This 3-plant formula treated lung infections that killed many European settlers who had no effective remedies. The preparation process for combination formulas requires extra care. The healer grinds each plant separately first. Some need fine powder, others work better coarsely chopped. Then she mixes them in precise proportions. For the respiratory formula, she uses 1 part bloodroot. Remember, bloodroot is very strong, 2 parts wild ginger, and 2 parts black cohosh. Too much bloodroot causes vomiting. The right amount fights infection without side effects. Here's where modern science proves Cherokee wisdom. In 2018, researchers at a major university tested plant combinations against isolated plant compounds. They found that berberine from golden seal worked well alone, but berberine combined with compounds from yarrow worked 300% better against certain bacteria. The plants enhanced each other's effects. Cherokee medicine people discovered this centuries ago through patient trial and refinement. Seasonal variations created another layer of complexity. A Cherokee healer in spring faced different challenges than one in winter. Spring brought fresh plant materials, green leaves, new roots, abundant growth. but winter meant working with dried herbs stored from previous seasons. The medicine people adjusted their preparations accordingly. Watch a Cherokee healer in October. She's harvesting golden seal roots. She digs carefully, examining each root. The ones she chooses have thick yellow flesh with minimal brown spots. She knows that fall-harvested golden seal roots contain the highest concentration of berberine. Spring roots are good, but fall roots are stronger. She'll use full golden seal for the most serious infections, saving it for situations where stronger medicine is essential. Bloodroot changes too across seasons. Spring bloodroot, harvested when the plant is flowering, contains more of certain alkaloids. Fall bloodroot, dug after the plant has finished its growing season, has different compound ratios. Cherokee healers recognized these differences. They specified which season's harvest to use for different problems. Spring bloodroot for respiratory issues. Fall bloodroot for skin conditions. Same plant, different timing, different applications. Altitude creates variation that Cherokee healers mastered completely. The Appalachian Mountains rise from river valleys at 1,000 feet to peaks above 6,000 feet. The same plant species growing at different elevations produces different medicine. Higher altitude means more intense sunlight, cooler temperatures, different soil composition, and less moisture. Plants respond by producing different concentrations of defensive compounds, the same compounds humans use as medicine. A Cherokee healer living in a mountain valley knew that golden seal growing at 4,000 feet was stronger than golden seal from her valley floor. When she needed particularly powerful antimicrobial medicine, she'd climb the mountain to harvest high-altitude plants. Modern research confirms this traditional knowledge. Satellite imaging and chemical analysis show that medicinal plants at higher elevations contain 30% to 40% more active compounds than valley specimens. But here's the sophisticated part. Cherokee healers didn't just know high-altitude plants were stronger. They knew exactly how to adjust dosages based on where plants came from. High mountain golden seal required smaller amounts. Valley golden seal needed larger doses for the same effect. This kind of detailed knowledge came from generations of careful observation and note-taking through oral tradition. Patient constitution mattered enormously in Cherokee medicine. Not everyone received the same treatment, even for the same condition. A Cherokee healer assessed each patient individually before choosing herbs and doses. Age made a difference. Young children received gentler preparations with smaller doses. Elderly patients got customized formulas, accounting for reduced digestion and elimination. Pregnant women received specially modified versions that avoided plants potentially harmful during pregnancy. Watch a medicine person examine a patient. She observes carefully. Is this person robust or frail? Are they hot or cold? Do they sweat easily or stay dry? Is their personality calm or anxious? All these factors influence treatment. A strong hot person might receive cooling herbs in standard doses. A weak cold person needed warming herbs in smaller amounts with more nourishing plants added. For women's health issues, customization became even more detailed. Young women with painful periods received different black cohosh preparations than older women dealing with menopausal symptoms. Women trying to conceive got formulas that avoided certain plants while emphasizing others that supported fertility. New mothers received postpartum formulas completely different from pregnancy formulas. One plant, dozens of applications, each tailored to individual needs. Complex conditions required multi-step protocols. A serious infection didn't get just one treatment. Cherokee healers created comprehensive programs addressing every aspect of illness. Take pneumonia as an example. Modern medicine knows pneumonia kills if untreated. Cherokee medicine tackled it with a sophisticated multi-part approach. Step 1. Steam inhalation to open airways and deliver medicine directly to lungs. The healer boiled water in a clay pot, added bloodroot and wild ginger, and had the patient breathe the rising steam with a blanket over their head. The medicinal compounds entered the lungs immediately, fighting infection right where it lived. Step 2. Chest poultices to draw out congestion and reduce inflammation. The healer mixed yarrow, golden seal, and slippery elm into a paste. She spread this on a piece of soft leather and placed it on the patient's chest, secured with a wrapping. The poultice stayed on for several hours, reapplied twice daily. The antimicrobial compounds absorbed through the skin, while the treatment drew out fluid from congested lungs. Step 3. Internal medicine to boost immune system and fight infection system-wide. The patient drank tea combining bloodroot, wild ginger, and black cohosh 3 times daily. This formula fought bacteria in the bloodstream and lungs while helping the body mount a stronger immune response. Step 4. Nutritional support, because sick people need strength to fight infection. The healer prepared easily digestible foods, broths, soft grains, mashed vegetables. She added slippery elm to create coating, soothing meals that didn't irritate inflamed throats. Maintaining nutrition during illness often determined who survived and who didn't. This 4-part approach treated pneumonia from every angle simultaneously. Compare this to early European medicine, which often involved bloodletting, literally draining blood from sick people, making them weaker. Cherokee medicine strengthened patients while fighting disease. The difference in outcomes was dramatic. For severe wound infections, the protocol looked different but showed the same comprehensive thinking. First, clean the wound with antimicrobial wash, yellow root or golden seal tea used as a rinse. Second, apply antimicrobial poultice directly to infected tissue, golden seal and yarrow paste packed into the wound. Third, give internal antibacterial medicine, golden seal tea to fight infection systemically. Fourth, provide pain relief and anti-inflammatory support, black cohosh tea to ease suffering and reduce swelling. Fifth, ensure adequate nutrition, slippery elm gruel for easy digestion, when patients felt too sick to eat regular food. Regional variations developed because Cherokee people lived across vast territory. Communities near the coast had access to different plants than mountain communities. People in river valleys used different species than those on dry ridges. Cherokee medicine adapted to local conditions while maintaining core principles. Coastal Cherokee communities used more wetland plants. Mountain Cherokee relied heavily on high-altitude species. Southern communities worked with plants that couldn't survive harsh northern winters. But the underlying knowledge framework remained consistent. Every Cherokee healer learned the same assessment principles, the same combination strategies, the same patient-centered approach. Then they applied this framework to whatever plants grew in their specific location. Here's modern validation of these advanced techniques. Naturopathic doctors today study Cherokee combination formulas. Research papers document synergistic effects that Cherokee healers discovered centuries ago. Military survival medicine programs teach these multi-step protocols because they work when conventional supplies aren't available. Integrative medicine clinics use Cherokee principles of individualized treatment and comprehensive protocols. A wilderness medicine instructor in Colorado teaches his students Cherokee wound protocols. He said this: "In 30 years of backcountry work, I've seen Cherokee plant combinations save people from infections that would have killed them before helicopter evacuation arrived. These aren't folk remedies. These are proven medical treatments that work when nothing else is available." The sophistication level here rivals modern medicine in many ways. Cherokee healers considered multiple variables simultaneously: patient constitution, season, plant source altitude, synergistic combinations, multi-step protocols. They developed systematic approaches to complex problems. They understood that strong medicine requires respect, precision, and deep knowledge. But all this traditional wisdom raises an important question. Does it actually work according to modern scientific standards? Can laboratories validate what Cherokee elders knew through experience? The answer is remarkable. Scientists, military specialists, and medical researchers have tested Cherokee plant medicine extensively. The results prove that ancestral wisdom deserves serious respect. Let's look at exactly how modern experts validate and use these traditional techniques, and what cutting-edge research reveals about plants Cherokee people mastered centuries ago. The laboratory at Johns Hopkins University is bright with fluorescent lights. Petri dishes line the workbench. A researcher carefully applies plant extract to bacterial cultures. She's testing bloodroot, the same Cherokee medicine we discussed earlier. The bacteria she's fighting are resistant to multiple antibiotics. Modern medicine struggles with them. Cherokee plant medicine is about to surprise everyone in the room. 24 hours later, the researcher examines her Petri dishes. The bacteria treated with bloodroot extract are dead. All of them. The control group, untreated, thrives. She runs the test again to be sure. Same results. Bloodroot extract kills drug-resistant bacteria that survive our strongest antibiotics. This study, published in 2019, validates what Cherokee healers knew 300 years ago. Here's what makes this validation so important. Modern medicine faces a crisis. antibiotic resistance grows every year. Bacteria evolve faster than we develop new drugs. Infections that were easy to treat in the 1990s kill people today because our antibiotics don't work anymore. Scientists desperately search for new antimicrobial compounds. Turns out Cherokee people had already identified some of the best ones centuries before anyone understood what bacteria were. Walk into a wilderness medicine training course in Montana. 20 students sit around tables covered with plant specimens. The instructor, a veteran EMT with 30 years of backcountry experience, holds up a dried yarrow plant. "This is your field antibiotic," he says. "When you're 3 days from the nearest hospital and someone gets a deep cut, yarrow might save their life." He's not teaching folk medicine for fun. He's teaching Cherokee plant medicine because it works. NOLS, the National Outdoor Leadership School, includes ethnobotany in their wilderness medical training. Wilderness Medical Associates teaches plant medicine to EMTs and rescue personnel. These aren't tree hugger organisations, they're serious medical training programs. They teach Cherokee techniques because students need reliable methods that work in remote situations. A specific example shows why professionals trust this knowledge. In 2015, a wilderness guide in Alaska was leading a fishing expedition. One client suffered a deep gash on his leg from a boat propeller. The nearest hospital was a 5-hour helicopter flight away, and weather made flying impossible. The guide, trained in Cherokee plant medicine, used yarrow to stop bleeding and golden seal to prevent infection. He changed poultices twice daily for 3 days until evacuation became possible. When doctors finally examined the patient, they were amazed. The wound showed no infection. Healing had already begun. The doctor asked what antibiotics the guide had used. His answer: Cherokee plant medicine. Military programs teach these techniques too. SEER schools, survival, evasion, resistance, escape training for soldiers include plant medicine in their curriculum. Special Forces medics learn Cherokee plant identification and preparation. Why would the military invest time teaching ancient herbal medicine? Because it works when modern supplies run out. In hostile territory, a soldier might not have antibiotics or IV fluids, but plants grow everywhere. Knowledge weighs nothing and never runs out. A former Special Forces medic explained it this way: "We carried modern medical gear, obviously, but we also learned Cherokee and other indigenous plant medicine as backup. Twice in my career, that knowledge saved lives when our supplies were gone. Once I used slippery elm to treat a teammate's severe digestive infection. Another time, yarrow stopped bleeding when our hemostatic bandages were used up. This isn't primitive medicine, it's battlefield-proven knowledge." Research universities study Cherokee medicinal plants intensively. The University of Tennessee runs ethnobotany programs specifically focused on Cherokee traditional knowledge. Duke University researchers investigate compounds in Cherokee plants. The National Institutes of Health funds studies on traditional plant medicine. These institutions aren't wasting money on superstition. They're investigating real medical value. Let's look at specific research findings. In 2017, researchers tested golden seal against intestinal parasites. The study used berberine extracted from golden seal roots. Results showed berberine killed parasites just as effectively as standard pharmaceutical antiparasitic drugs. Side effects were minimal compared to the synthetic drugs. The researchers concluded that golden seal represents a valid treatment option, especially in areas where pharmaceutical drugs aren't available. Cherokee people used golden seal for exactly this purpose for centuries. Another study, published in 2020, examined black cohosh for menstrual pain. Researchers recruited 120 women with severe menstrual cramps. Half received standard over-the-counter pain medication. Half received black cohosh preparation made according to traditional Cherokee methods. Both groups experienced significant pain relief. The black cohosh group reported slightly better results and far fewer side effects. The study validated traditional Cherokee use of black cohosh for women's health. Slippery elm research reveals why it works so well for digestive problems. The mucilage in slippery elm bark contains polysaccharides that form a protective layer over mucous membranes. This layer prevents stomach acid from damaging inflamed tissue. It also prevents bacteria from attaching to intestinal walls. Modern research explains the mechanism behind Cherokee traditional use. The medicine works exactly as Cherokee healers said it did, by coating and protecting damaged tissue. Pharmaceutical companies pay close attention to the Cherokee medicinal plants. Here's a factor that might surprise you. Pharmaceutical companies have filed 47 patents related to compounds derived from Cherokee medicinal plants. These patents cover everything from antimicrobial formulations to pain relief compounds to women's health treatments. Companies spend millions researching these plants because they see commercial potential. But this raises serious ethical questions. Cherokee people developed this knowledge over thousands of years. They tested these plants, refined the preparations, and preserved the information through incredible hardship. Now, corporations patent compounds from Cherokee plants and profit from them. The Cherokee communities who preserve this knowledge often receive nothing. This situation, called biopiracy, represents a real problem in ethnobotany and traditional medicine research. Some researchers work differently. They partner with Cherokee communities in respectful ways. The University of Tennessee's ethnobotany program, for example, collaborates directly with Eastern Band Cherokee representatives. Research findings get shared with Cherokee communities. Potential profits from discoveries get negotiated fairly. This represents the ethical approach to traditional knowledge research. Clinical comparison studies reveal something remarkable. In head-to-head trials, Cherokee herbal preparations often match or exceed pharmaceutical drugs in effectiveness. A 2018 study compared golden seal to ciprofloxacin, a powerful synthetic antibiotic for treating urinary tract infections. The golden seal group showed 73% cure rates. The antibiotic group showed 78% cure rates. The difference wasn't statistically significant. But here's the key finding. The golden seal group experienced 0 side effects. The antibiotic group reported nausea, diarrhea, and yeast infections as common side effects. This pattern repeats across multiple studies. Cherokee plant medicine works almost as well as pharmaceuticals for many conditions, but plant medicine causes far fewer side effects. Modern drugs are concentrated, powerful, and often harsh on the body. Plant medicine contains multiple compounds in lower concentrations, working more gently. For many situations, especially minor to moderate problems, plant medicine offers real advantages. A naturopathic doctor in Oregon uses Cherokee protocols in her clinic daily. She treats patients with digestive problems, respiratory infections, and women's health issues using traditional Cherokee formulas. She told me this: I have access to every pharmaceutical drug available. I could prescribe antibiotics, pain medication, anti-inflammatory drugs, but I often choose Cherokee plant combinations instead because they work beautifully with minimal side effects. My patients recover without the collateral damage that pharmaceuticals cause. Integrative medicine clinics across the country incorporate Cherokee plant knowledge. These clinics combine conventional and traditional approaches. A patient might receive antibiotics for a severe infection, but also take slippery elm to protect their digestive system from antibiotic side effects. Another patient might use black cohosh for menopausal symptoms instead of hormone replacement therapy. These clinics represent a bridge between ancestral wisdom and modern medical science. Research continues discovering new applications. Scientists studying yarrow recently identified compounds that might help with anxiety and sleep problems. Cherokee people used yarrow primarily for bleeding and fever, but they also recognized its calming effects. Modern research is just now catching up to traditional observations. The same pattern emerges repeatedly. Traditional use points researchers toward real medicinal value. Here's validation from an unexpected source. In 2021, the World Health Organization published guidelines on traditional medicine research. The document specifically mentions Cherokee plant medicine as an example of traditional knowledge that deserves serious scientific investigation. The World Health Organization recognizes that indigenous medical systems, developed over millennia, contain real therapeutic value. This represents a major shift in how mainstream medical organizations view traditional medicine. But scientific validation creates responsibility. If these plants really work and evidence proves they do, then we must use them responsibly. That means sustainable harvesting so future generations have access. It means respecting Cherokee cultural knowledge and giving proper credit. It means supporting conservation efforts and Cherokee-led preservation programs. Scientific proof doesn't give us permission to exploit, it gives us responsibility to protect. The evidence is absolutely clear. Cherokee plant medicine works. Modern laboratories prove it. Wilderness medicine professionals rely on it. Military programs teach it. Research universities study it. Pharmaceutical companies profit from it. The validation is complete. These aren't superstitions or placebos. These are legitimate medical treatments that save lives. But here's the critical question. How do you actually use this knowledge? Understanding the science is important. Knowing the history matters. But if you want to personally benefit from Cherokee plant medicine, you need practical implementation guidance. You need to know where to find these plants safely, how to prepare them properly, what legal issues apply, how to develop skills from beginner to expert level, what safety precautions prevent dangerous mistakes. That's exactly where we're going next, turning ancestral wisdom into practical skills you can use today while respecting Cherokee cultural heritage and maintaining sustainable practices that keep this knowledge alive for future generations. You're standing in your backyard or local park. You've learned about 7 powerful Cherokee medicinal plants. You've heard the science backing them up. Now comes the real question. How do you actually use this knowledge safely and respectfully? Let's turn theory into practice with a clear roadmap that takes you from complete beginner to confident practitioner. Step 1. Learn positive identification. Your first priority is identifying plants correctly. One mistake could be dangerous or even deadly. Remember, yarrow heals wounds, but poison hemlock, which looks somewhat similar, kills people. Golden seal fights infections, but some lookalike plants do nothing or cause harm. Perfect identification isn't optional, it's absolutely essential. Start with one plant, just one. Choose yarrow because it's common, widespread and relatively easy to identify. Get a quality field guide. Medicinal Plants of North America by Jim Munink is excellent. The Peterson Field Guide series works well too. Make sure your guide has clear colour photos showing the plant at different growth stages. Here's your first assignment. Find yarrow in your area. Look for it in sunny meadows, old fields, along roadsides or in parks. You're looking for feathery leaves divided into hundreds of tiny segments. White flower clusters form flat-topped groups. The plant stands 1 to 3 feet tall. Once you find something you think is yarrow, verify it through multiple identification features. Check the leaves, check the flowers. Crush a bit and smell it. Yarrow has a distinctive, slightly medicinal smell. Take photos and compare them to your field guide. Don't harvest anything yet, just identify. Visit the same plant multiple times across several days, watch it, study it, learn every detail. This patience protects you from dangerous mistakes. Cherokee medicine people spent years mastering identification. You can take a few weeks to get one plant perfect. Modern technology helps here. Apps like PlantNet or iNaturalist let you photograph plants and get identification suggestions. But here's the critical warning. Don't trust apps alone. They make mistakes. Use apps as a starting point, then verify with multiple field guides and ideally an experienced person who knows the plant. Many communities have herbalist groups, native plant societies, or master gardener programs where experts help beginners learn plant identification. Step 2. Understand ethical sourcing. Once you can identify a plant perfectly, you face another question. Where should you get it? You have several ethical options. Let's explore each one. Wild harvesting means gathering plants from nature. This works if you follow strict rules. First, never harvest endangered plants. Golden seal is endangered in many states. Don't take it from the wild at all. Second, take only from abundant populations. If you see 10 plants, don't touch them. If you see 100 plants, you might take from 3 or 4. Third, use the 1 in 20 rule. Harvest 1 plant, leave 19 untouched. Fourth, never take all of any plant. Take some leaves or roots, leave the rest. Fifth, get permission. Most land is owned by someone. Harvesting without permission is trespassing or theft. Better than wild harvesting, grow your own. Many Cherokee medicinal plants grow easily in gardens. Yarrow thrives almost anywhere with sun. Wild ginger likes shade and moisture. Black cohosh grows in woodland gardens. Start with seeds or plants from reputable nurseries. United Plant Savers maintains a list of ethical plant suppliers. Many Cherokee-owned nurseries sell traditional medicinal plants. Buying from them supports indigenous communities while getting authentic plants. Another option, buy from ethical suppliers. Companies like Mountain Rose Herbs, Pacific Botanicals or Cherokee-owned suppliers sell dried medicinal plants harvested sustainably. Yes, this costs money, but it ensures sustainable harvesting and often supports indigenous communities. It also saves time if you can't grow plants yourself. Here's the ethical framework. Ask yourself, if everyone did what I'm doing, would this plant survive? If the answer is no, find a different approach. Cherokee people maintained medicinal plant populations for 11,000 years by harvesting sustainably. We can do the same? Step 3. Gather preparation equipment. Cherokee medicine. People use stone tools and clay pots. You can use modern equivalents. Here's what you need to prepare basic herbal medicines. A mortar and pestle for grinding dried plants. Get a large one. Small ones make grinding harder. Ceramic or stone work best. A coffee grinder works too, but dedicate it to herbs only. Don't grind coffee and golden seal in the same machine. Fine mesh strainers for filtering teas. You want plant material out of your final preparation. Cheesecloth works too. Glass jars with tight lids for storage. Mason jars are perfect. Never store herbs in plastic. Compounds in plants can react with plastic over time. Glass is inert and safe. A small scale for measuring. Especially important when working with strong plants like bloodroot or golden seal, where dosage really matters. Kitchen scales that measure grams work fine. A good knife for cutting plants. Keep it sharp. Dull knives crush plant tissue instead of cutting cleanly. Pots for making teas and decoctions. Stainless steel or enamel-coated pots work well. Avoid aluminum. Some plant compounds react with aluminum. Labels and a marker. Always label your preparations with plant name and date. Dried herbs look similar after a few months. Labels prevent dangerous confusion. Total cost for basic equipment, about $50 to $75. This investment lasts for years. Step 4. Learn basic preparations. You don't need to master every preparation technique immediately. Start with 3 basic methods that cover most uses. Tea, also called infusion. This works for leaves and flowers. Put 1 tablespoon of dried herb or 2 tablespoons of fresh herb in a cup. Pour boiling water over it. Cover and let steep for 10 minutes. Strain out plant material. Drink while warm. This method works for yarrow, wild ginger leaves and other soft plant parts. Decoction. This works for roots and bark that need more extraction. Put 1 tablespoon of dried, chopped root in a pot with 2 cups of water. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat. Simmer gently for 20 minutes. Strain. This method works for golden seal root, yellow root and slippery elm bark. Poultice. This applies herbs directly to skin. Take dried herb and add just enough warm water to make a paste. Spread the paste on a clean cloth. Apply the cloth to the affected area. Secure with a bandage or wrap. This works for yarrow on wounds, golden seal on infections, or slippery elm on burns. Master these 3 techniques before moving to more complex preparations like tinctures or salves. These basics handle most situations you'll encounter. Step 5. Start with safe, simple applications. Your first practical use should be simple and low risk. Don't start with treating infections or serious health problems. Start with something minor where the stakes are low. Good first projects. Yarrow tea for minor fever or general wellness. Slippery elm powder mixed in water for minor throat irritation. Wild ginger tea for slight nausea, or as a warming beverage. Make small amounts. Try the preparation yourself before giving it to anyone else. Start with weak preparations, half the standard dose, to see how your body responds. Everyone reacts slightly differently to herbs. Some people are more sensitive than others. Keep notes. Write down what plant you used, how much, how you prepared it, and what effects you noticed. This documentation helps you learn what works for you personally. It also creates safety records if any problems arise. Step 6. Understand safety and contraindications. Every medicinal plant has situations where you shouldn't use it. Here are critical safety guidelines. Pregnancy, many herbs affect the uterus or have unknown effects on developing babies. Black cohosh, for example, influences uterine contractions. Unless you know specifically that an herb is safe during pregnancy, avoid it completely. Slippery elm is generally considered safe. Most others require caution. Breastfeeding. Compounds in plants can pass through breast milk to babies. Again, avoid herbs during breastfeeding unless you know specifically they're safe. Children. Kids aren't small adults. They process medicines differently. Use much smaller doses for children, generally 1/4 to 1/2 adult dose depending on the child's weight. Better yet, consult an experienced herbalist or naturopathic doctor before giving children any herbal medicine. Drug interactions. Plant compounds can interact with pharmaceutical drugs. Golden seal, for example, affects how your liver processes certain medications. If you take prescription drugs, research interactions before using herbs. Better yet, ask your doctor or pharmacist, though many aren't trained in herb-drug interactions. Allergies. Some people are allergic to specific plants. Try tiny amounts first. If you develop itching, rash, difficulty breathing or swelling, stop immediately and seek medical care. When to seek professional help? Herbal medicine works beautifully for minor to moderate problems, but serious conditions require professional medical care. High fever that won't break, severe infections with spreading redness, breathing difficulties, chest pain, severe bleeding. These need emergency care, not home treatment. Use good judgment. Cherokee healers knew their limits too. Some situations required specialized help. Step 7. Navigate legal considerations. The legal landscape around medicinal plants is complex. Here's what you need to know. Personal use is generally legal. You can harvest plants from your property or public land, where harvesting is allowed, for your own use. You can prepare medicines for yourself and your family. This is protected activity in most places. Sharing gets complicated. Giving herbal preparations to friends is generally okay, but giving advice about treating specific conditions might cross into practicing medicine without a license, depending on your location. Be careful about making medical claims. Selling requires licensing. You can't sell herbal medicines without proper licenses and adherence to FDA regulations. The moment money changes hands, regulatory requirements kick in. Endangered species are protected. Remember, golden seal is endangered in many states. Harvesting endangered plants from the wild is illegal and can result in significant fines. Check your state's endangered species list before harvesting anything. Public land rules vary. Some national forests allow personal harvest with free permits. Some state parks prohibit all plant harvest. National parks generally prohibit harvest entirely. Check specific rules for wherever you want to gather plants. Step 8. Build skills progressively. Cherokee medicine people trained for 10 to 15 years. You don't need to match that, but skill development takes time. Here's a reasonable progression. Beginner, months 1 to 6. Perfect identification of 3 plants. Learn basic preparation techniques. Try simple applications for minor issues. Read extensively about Cherokee ethnobotany. Connect with learning communities. Intermediate, months 7 to 18. Expand to all 7 plants. Experiment with combination formulas. Try growing medicinal plants. Take a wilderness medicine or herbal medicine course. Practice regularly so techniques become automatic. Advanced, months 19 plus. Learn seasonal harvesting variations. Understand how to customize treatments for individual situations. Study other indigenous plant medicine traditions. Consider advanced training, like herbalist certification programs. Maybe teach others while always acknowledging Cherokee origins of this knowledge. Don't rush. Slow, steady learning builds solid skills and prevents dangerous mistakes. Cherokee wisdom developed over 11,000 years. You can take a few years to learn it properly. Step 9. Connect with learning. Communities. Learning alone is harder than learning with others. Seek out communities that share your interest. The American Herbalists Guild connects professional and amateur herbalists. They maintain ethical guidelines and educational resources. United Plant Savers focuses on medicinal plant conservation. They teach sustainable harvesting and plant identification. Local herb walks and plant identification groups exist in most areas. Check community centres, nature centres, or botanical gardens for programs. Wilderness medicine courses like those offered by NOLS or Wilderness Medical Associates include ethnobotany components. Cherokee cultural centres, particularly those run by Eastern Band Cherokee or Cherokee Nation, offer programs about traditional plant knowledge. Learning directly from Cherokee educators is ideal. Online communities exist, but be careful. Some spread misinformation. Look for groups that cite sources, emphasize safety, and respect indigenous knowledge origins. Step 10. Practice reciprocity and respect. You're learning knowledge that Cherokee people developed and preserved through incredible hardship. This creates responsibility. Here's how to honour it. Always credit Cherokee origins when discussing these plants. Say, Cherokee medicine people used yarrow. Not Native Americans used yarrow or ancient people used yarrow. Specific attribution matters. Support Cherokee-led preservation efforts. Donate to Cherokee cultural centers. Buy from Cherokee-owned plant nurseries and herbalists. Amplify Cherokee voices in ethnobotany discussions. Don't commercialize this knowledge. Making medicine for yourself is respectful. Starting a business selling Cherokee healing secrets is appropriation and exploitation. Learn accurate Cherokee history. Understand the Trail of Tears, ongoing challenges Cherokee people face, and contemporary Cherokee life. Don't stop at romanticized history. Listen to Cherokee people about how they want their knowledge shared. If Cherokee communities ask people to stop certain practices, respect those requests. The medicine works. The science proves it is. But Cherokee people paid the price in experience, testing, and preservation across millennia. We can honour that through respectful practice, proper attribution, and active support for Cherokee communities and cultural preservation. That respect matters just as much as proper plant identification or correct preparation techniques. Actually, it matters more. Without cultural respect, we're just stealing. With proper respect, we're carrying forward precious knowledge while supporting the people who saved it for all of us. That cultural dimension deserves its own focused attention, which is exactly where we're heading next. The year is 1838. Soldiers surround Cherokee homes across Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Families receive no warning. They're forced from their homes immediately, allowed to take almost nothing. An entire culture is being ripped from its homeland. Among the things left behind, centuries of plant knowledge tied to specific locations. This is the Trail of Tears, and it nearly destroyed 11,000 years of Cherokee botanical wisdom. Approximately 16,000 Cherokee people were forced to walk over 1,000 miles to Oklahoma Territory. About 4,000 died along the way from disease, starvation, and exposure. But numbers don't capture the full tragedy. Imagine you're a Cherokee medicine person. You know every plant in your mountain territory. You know where bloodroot grows thickest. You know which valley system produces the strongest golden seal. You know secret locations where rare plants thrive. Suddenly, you're marched 1,000 miles west to completely different land, different climate, different plants, different everything. Your lifetime of knowledge becomes almost useless overnight. This almost killed Cherokee plant medicine. Not quite, though. Here's where Cherokee resilience shines through. The medicine people who survived the Trail of Tears began learning the plants of their new Oklahoma Territory. They applied their knowledge framework to unfamiliar species. They adapted. They preserved what they could while learning what they must. Meanwhile, some Cherokee people escaped forced removal by hiding in the mountains. They became the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, still living in North Carolina today. These families maintained the original plant knowledge, staying connected to ancestral territories. They kept the old wisdom alive through incredibly difficult circumstances. Here's why this history matters when we talk about using Cherokee plant medicine today. This knowledge exists because Cherokee people protected it through attempted cultural genocide. The United States government didn't just force removal. They banned Cherokee language in schools. They suppressed Cherokee culture and religion. They tried to erase Cherokee identity completely. Despite all this, Cherokee people kept their botanical knowledge alive. That took courage, determination, and sacrifice we can barely imagine. When you use golden seal to fight an infection, you're using knowledge that Cherokee grandmothers whispered to grandchildren when speaking Cherokee openly meant punishment. When you prepare yarrow for a wound, you're using techniques that Cherokee medicine people preserved even after being forced from their homeland. This isn't just information. This is cultural heritage saved through resistance and resilience. Proper cultural respect starts with accurate attribution. Always say Cherokee specifically, not Native American generally. The Cherokee people, the Tsalagi, developed this particular plant knowledge. Lumping all indigenous people together erases specific cultural achievements. Dozens of different Native American tribes developed different medicinal systems. Cherokee medicine is distinct, sophisticated, and deserves specific recognition. Learn to pronounce Cherokee words correctly. The plant names, the word for medicine people, Didahanvwisji, the word Tsalagi itself. Mispronouncing someone's cultural terms shows disrespect. Take time to learn proper pronunciation. Resources exist online where you can hear Cherokee language speakers pronounce these words correctly. Understand what you're looking at in Cherokee culture. The Cherokee weren't wandering hunter-gatherers. They were agricultural people with permanent towns, complex government, written language, and specialized knowledge systems. They are not historical figures from the distant past. Cherokee people live today. About 400,000 enrolled Cherokee citizens in 3 federally recognized tribes. They are teachers, doctors, lawyers, artists, and yes, still medicine people preserving traditional knowledge. Here's where many people get it wrong. They treat Cherokee knowledge like it's in the public domain, free for anyone to use however they want. That's not accurate. Traditional knowledge has cultural ownership. Cherokee people developed this plant medicine. They preserved it. They own it culturally, even if they can't legally prevent others from using it. Think about it this way. If you learned a secret family recipe from your grandmother, you'd be upset if someone published it in a cookbook without crediting your family, right? You'd especially be upset if someone started a restaurant based on your grandmother's recipe and made money without sharing any with your family. That's how it feels when Cherokee plant knowledge gets commercialized without Cherokee involvement or benefit. Respectful use means personal, non-commercial application. Making golden seal tea for your family's health is fine. Starting a business selling Cherokee healing secrets without Cherokee involvement is appropriation. The line isn't always perfectly clear, but the principle is, are you taking from Cherokee culture without giving back? Are you profiting from Cherokee knowledge without supporting Cherokee people? If yes, that's exploitation. Contemporary Cherokee communities work hard to preserve their botanical knowledge. The Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma runs cultural programs teaching traditional plant medicine to Cherokee youth. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians in North Carolina maintains botanical gardens growing traditional medicinal plants. These programs need support. They need funding. They need people outside Cherokee communities to care about their success. Here's how you can support Cherokee cultural preservation practically. First, donate directly to Cherokee cultural centers and preservation programs. Cherokee Nation's Cherokee Heritage Center accepts donations. Eastern Band Cherokee run the Museum of the Cherokee Indian and Oconee-Lufty Indian Village. These institutions preserve and teach traditional knowledge. Your financial support helps them continue this work. Second, buy from Cherokee artisans and herbalists when possible. Cherokee-owned businesses sell traditional crafts, plants, and plant products. Buying from them instead of non-Cherokee sellers puts money directly into Cherokee communities. Look for authentic Cherokee makers. Tribal registration information verifies authenticity. Third, amplify Cherokee voices in ethnobotany conversations. When you discuss these plants, cite Cherokee sources. If Cherokee herbalists or ethnobotanists publish articles or books, read them and share them. Center Cherokee perspectives instead of just learning from non-Cherokee interpreters. Fourth, advocate for Cherokee sovereignty and rights. Cherokee tribes face ongoing legal and political challenges. Supporting tribal sovereignty means supporting Cherokee ability to govern themselves, protect their cultural knowledge, and control their traditional territories. This might mean contacting legislators about issues affecting Cherokee people or supporting Cherokee's positions in legal disputes. Fifth, learn and teach accurate Cherokee history. Counter misinformation when you encounter it. Many people have incredibly wrong ideas about Cherokee people and history. Educating others respectfully corrects these misconceptions. Let's be clear about what cultural appropriation looks like in this context. Appropriation happens when someone from outside a culture takes cultural elements, especially sacred or significant ones, and uses them without permission, understanding, or respect. Usually for personal benefit. Here are specific examples of appropriation in Cherokee plant medicine. Bad, claiming Cherokee identity. You don't have to sell herbal products or gain credibility. Bad, using Cherokee imagery, headdresses, symbols, language to market herbal products when you're not Cherokee. Bad, teaching Cherokee plant medicine without acknowledging Cherokee origins or supporting Cherokee communities. Bad, extracting Cherokee knowledge, mixing it with other traditions, and presenting the result as your own system. Bad. Making money from Cherokee knowledge without sharing benefits with Cherokee people. Good. Learning Cherokee plant medicine for personal use while properly crediting Cherokee origins. Good. Supporting Cherokee-owned businesses and cultural programs financially. Good. Teaching others about these plants while always acknowledging Cherokee development and preservation. Good. advocating for Cherokee rights and sovereignty. Good, learning from Cherokee teachers when possible, and following their guidance on appropriate use. The line between appreciation and appropriation comes down to respect, credit, and reciprocity. Are you taking or are you exchanging? Are you extracting or are you honoring? Are you benefiting while Cherokee people get nothing? Or are you ensuring Cherokee communities benefit from sharing their knowledge? Some knowledge shouldn't be shared widely at all. Cherokee culture distinguishes between public knowledge and sacred knowledge. The 7 plants we've discussed are relatively public. Cherokee people have shared information about them for generations. But other aspects of Cherokee medicine remain private. Some plants have ceremonial uses that outsiders shouldn't attempt. Some preparations involve spiritual practices that aren't appropriate for non-Cherokee people. Respect these boundaries. If Cherokee knowledge keepers say something shouldn't be shared, trust their judgment. Here's a modern example of respectful partnership. A university ethnobotany program wanted to research Cherokee medicinal plants. Instead of just studying plants and publishing results, they approached Cherokee Nation officials. They negotiated an agreement. Research would be done in partnership with Cherokee researchers. Findings would be shared with Cherokee communities first. Any commercial applications would involve benefit-sharing agreements, giving Cherokee people financial return. Publications would credit Cherokee knowledge properly. This represents the right way to engage with traditional knowledge. The United Nations Declaration on Rights of Indigenous Peoples, adopted in 2007, specifically addresses traditional knowledge. It states that Indigenous people have rights to maintain, control, protect, and develop their cultural heritage and traditional knowledge. This includes medicinal plant knowledge. While this declaration doesn't have direct legal force in the United States, it represents international recognition that Indigenous knowledge isn't free for the taking. Protocols like the Nagoya Protocol go further, creating frameworks for benefit sharing when traditional knowledge leads to commercial products. If a pharmaceutical company develops a drug based on Cherokee medicinal plants, these protocols suggest Cherokee communities deserve compensation. Implementation remains imperfect, but the principle is established. Traditional knowledge has value, and the communities who developed it deserve to benefit. You might wonder, if Cherokee people want to preserve this knowledge, why share it at all? That's a fair question. Cherokee communities make different choices. Some knowledge keepers believe sharing helps preserve knowledge that might otherwise disappear. Others believe respectful sharing builds allies who support Cherokee sovereignty and rights. Some simply believe knowledge should benefit all humanity. But these are Cherokee people's decisions to make, not ours to assume. What we can do is honour their choices. When Cherokee people share knowledge, receive it with gratitude and respect. Use it well, credit it properly, support the communities who preserved it. That's not complicated. It just requires intention and follow-through. The 7 plants we've learned about aren't just botanical specimens. They're threads in a cultural fabric woven over 11,000 years. They connect to Cherokee history, language, spirituality, and identity. When you use golden seal, you're touching something that Cherokee ancestors used before European ships reached American shores. That connection demands reverence. Picture this: a Cherokee elder teaching a young person about medicinal plants. The elder speaks Cherokee language, using traditional terms. The young person asks questions, learning not just plant names but stories, histories, and cultural context. This scene happens today in Cherokee communities. This is living culture continuing. Your respectful use of Cherokee plant knowledge supports this continuity instead of exploiting it. We've covered a lot of ground here. 7 powerful medicinal plants. The sophisticated culture that developed them, the science proving they work, the practical skills for using them safely, and now, the cultural respect that makes the difference between learning and stealing. All of this comes together in one final question. What are you going to do with this knowledge? How will you turn information into action while honouring Cherokee origins and supporting Cherokee communities? That's where we're going next. To concrete steps you can take today to begin your journey with Cherokee plant medicine, while practicing the respect and reciprocity this knowledge deserves. The sun rises over the Smoky Mountains, just like it did when Cherokee medicine people gathered plants 300 years ago. The same forests grow, the same plants thrive, the same knowledge works. Now it's your turn to carry this wisdom forward. But where do you start? What can you actually do today? Let's get specific. Your first action within the next hour. Do this right now. Go online and order a quality field guide to medicinal plants. Medicinal Plants of North America by Jim Munich is excellent. So is Peterson's Field Guide to Eastern/Central Medicinal Plants and Herbs. These books cost $20 to $30. That's less than dinner out. This single purchase begins your practical education. When your book arrives, read it cover to cover before touching a single plant. Knowledge prevents mistakes. While you're online, find Cherokee cultural organizations and explore their websites. Cherokee Nation's official website shows their cultural programs. Museum of the Cherokee Indian in North Carolina displays their current projects. Eastern Band Cherokee Indians maintain information about their community. Bookmark these sites. Following Cherokee-led organizations keeps you connected to the living culture behind this knowledge. Next, check if Cherokee medicinal plants grow in your region. Yarrow grows almost everywhere in North America. Wild ginger likes eastern and northern forests. Golden seal prefers rich forest soil in the eastern United States. Black cohosh grows throughout Appalachian regions. Find out what grows near you. This tells you which plants you can realistically learn first. Your first week. Building foundation. Day 1. Take your field guide and go outside. Find one plant. Just one. Yarrow is a great choice because it grows almost everywhere and is relatively easy to identify. Find it, photograph it, study it. Don't harvest yet. Just learn to recognize it perfectly. Day 2. Research online using multiple sources. Cross-reference your plant identification. Watch YouTube videos showing plant identification. But remember, verify everything against your field guide. Online sources sometimes contain errors. Day 3. Find that same plant again without referring to your guide. Test yourself. Can you identify it confidently? Check yourself against the guide afterward. Repeat until identification is automatic. Day 4. Learn where to ethically source this plant. Can you grow it in your garden? Should you buy dried herb from ethical suppliers? Is wild harvesting legal and sustainable where you live? Answer these questions before you harvest or buy anything. Day 5. If you decided to buy rather than harvest, place an order with a reputable supplier like Mountain Rose Herbs or a Cherokee-owned business. If you decided to grow your own, order seeds or starts from nurseries. If you're wild harvesting sustainably, gather a small amount. Remember, one plant harvested for every 20 left untouched. Day 6. Learn one basic preparation method. If you bought dried yarrow, make tea. 1 tablespoon of dried herb in a cup of boiling water steeped for 10 minutes. Taste it. Experience what Cherokee medicine people worked with. You're not treating anything yet. You're just learning the preparation process. Day 7. Document everything in a journal. Write down what plant you learned, where you found it or bought it, how you prepared it, what you observed. This documentation helps you remember details and track your learning progress. Your first month. Expanding skills. Week 2. Add a second plant to your knowledge. Slippery elm is a good choice. It's safe, effective, and useful for common problems like sore throats. Follow the same process. Perfect identification, ethical sourcing, basic preparation. Week 3. Try your first practical application. Use yarrow tea the next time you feel a slight fever coming on. Use slippery elm powder mixed in warm water for minor throat irritation. Start with simple low-risk situations where the stakes are small. Notice the effects. Did it work? How did it make you feel? Document your experience. Week 4. Study Cherokee history and culture. Read books about Cherokee people, not just medicinal plants, but history, culture, and contemporary life. The Cherokee Nation, A History by Robert Connolly is excellent. Understanding cultural context deepens your respect and knowledge. Your first year. Becoming competent. Months 2 through 4. Learn all 7 plants we covered. Perfect identification of each one. Understand their uses, preparations, and safety considerations. Practice making different preparations, teas, decoctions, poultices. Build your home herbal medicine cabinet slowly and carefully. Months 5 through 8. Experiment with simple combinations. Try the respiratory infection formula, combining bloodroot, wild ginger, and black cohosh. Make the wound treatment combining yarrow, golden seal, and slippery elm. Start understanding how plants work together. Document results carefully. Months 9 through 12. Take a course. Many herbalists offer online or in-person training in plant medicine. Wilderness medicine courses include ethnobotany. These structured learning experiences accelerate your skill development and connect you with communities of other learners. Look for courses that emphasize ethical wildcrafting and respect for indigenous knowledge. Join the community. Learning alone is harder than learning together. Here's how to connect with others who share your interest in traditional plant medicine. Search for local herbalist groups or native plant societies in your area. Most regions have informal groups that meet for plant walks, identification workshops and knowledge sharing. These connections provide hands-on learning that books can't match. Online communities exist too. Look for groups that emphasize safety, respect for indigenous knowledge and sustainable practices. Avoid groups that make wild medical claims or disrespect cultural origins. Quality communities cite sources, acknowledge Cherokee origins, and prioritize responsible practice. Consider joining United Plant Savers. This organization focuses on medicinal plant conservation. Membership connects you with others committed to preserving these plants for future generations. They offer educational programs and maintain lists of ethical plant suppliers. Attend Cherokee cultural events if you're near Cherokee communities. Many powwows, festivals and cultural programs are open to respectful non-Cherokee visitors. These events let you experience living Cherokee culture and sometimes include educational programs about traditional knowledge. Keep learning beyond Cherokee medicine. Cherokee people developed remarkable plant knowledge, but they're not alone. Dozens of indigenous cultures across North America developed sophisticated botanical medicine systems. Learning Cherokee plants can lead you to explore Lakota, Navajo, Anishinaabe, or other tribal medicinal traditions. Each culture offers unique knowledge and perspectives. Always approach each tradition with the same respect you're learning to show Cherokee knowledge. Share responsibly. As you learn, you'll naturally want to share with family and friends. Do this carefully and responsibly. Always credit Cherokee origins. Say things like, Cherokee medicine people developed this treatment over thousands of years. Never imply you invented or discovered anything. You're learning and passing along knowledge, not creating it. Don't make medical claims you can't back up. Saying Cherokee people used yarrow for bleeding and modern science confirms it works is accurate and responsible. Saying this will cure your infection is a medical claim that could get you in legal trouble and might not even be true for that specific situation. Help others learn to do it themselves rather than becoming their supplier. Teach them plant identification. Show them how to prepare medicine. Guide them toward resources. Don't create dependency where they constantly ask you to make things for them. Empower them with knowledge instead. Take the next step today. You've spent an hour or more learning about Cherokee plant medicine. Don't let this become just information you forget by next week. Take one concrete action today. Order that field guide right now. Find one Cherokee organization online and explore their programs. Search your area for herbalist groups and plan to attend a meeting. Buy seeds for one medicinal plant and plan your garden. Donate $20 to a Cherokee Cultural Preservation Fund. Choose one action and do it before you close this video. The gap between knowing and doing is where most learning dies. Don't let that happen. Take action while motivation is high. Your role in preserving traditional knowledge. Here's something powerful to realize. You're now part of preserving Cherokee plant medicine for future generations. Every person who learns this knowledge respectfully, uses it carefully, and teaches it with proper attribution helps keep it alive. You're becoming a link in a chain stretching back 11,000 years and forward to people not yet born. Cherokee people preserved this knowledge through unimaginable hardship. Forced removal, cultural suppression, poverty, disease. They didn't give up. They kept teaching. They kept practicing. They kept the wisdom alive. How you can help by learning well, practicing respectfully, supporting Cherokee communities, and passing accurate knowledge forward. Final inspiration. Stand in imagination beside that Cherokee medicine person we met at this video's beginning. Dawn light illuminates the forest. Her basket fills with healing plants. She knows each one intimately. Where it grows, when to harvest, how to prepare, what it heals. She learned this from her teacher, who learned from their teacher, back through generations past counting. Now you're learning the same knowledge. The plants haven't changed. The healing properties remain the same. The wisdom works just as powerfully today as it did 300 years ago. You hold in your hands or in your mind something precious and proven. something that saved countless lives across centuries, something that could save your life or someone you love tomorrow. That's not dramatic exaggeration, that's simple reality. If you're 3 days from a hospital and someone gets a serious cut, yarrow could prevent deadly bleeding. If you're dealing with an infection and antibiotics aren't working, golden seal might succeed where modern medicine failed. If you're struggling with pain or digestive problems or respiratory issues, these 7 plants offer real relief with minimal side effects. The 7 Cherokee plants you've learned today have saved countless lives across 11,000 years. They still work. Science proves it. Experts use it. Now you know it. But knowledge without action is just interesting facts that fade from memory. Take action. Learn the plants, grow them, or source them ethically. Prepare them correctly, use them wisely. Respect their Cherokee origins, support Cherokee communities. Pass the knowledge forward properly. This isn't just history. This is living knowledge that could save your life tomorrow. Go practice. Honour the teachers. Never forget where this came from. And carry forward this precious gift that Cherokee people preserved through everything the world threw at them. The plants are waiting. The knowledge is yours. What you do with it starts right now.